I did not take a trade today. It was definitely the best decision I could have made for myself as a beginner trader. I'm actually going to show you guys my chart at the end of this video, but most importantly, I really want to share why I decided to sit on my hands for today. First things first, I hate trading on Fridays. I feel like it slows down. There's a lot of wicks, long wicks, and that's mainly on NQ. I did create a rule for myself whenever I'm trading NQ. If I don't find a trade between 8 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. on a Friday, I'm not taking a trade. I have particular rules that I want to follow in order for me to be a consistent trader. Now, don't get me wrong, there were definitely setups. They just weren't my setups, and I'm okay with that. Some people probably caught really good trades today, but at the end of the day, if it's not your particular strategy, don't take the trade. Now, everything did look like it wanted to bait me in, but I refused to just go ahead and just get into a trade. There was no clear break of structure. There was no clear retest. And honestly, for me, that equals no trade. My promise to myself this week was that I wasn't going to force anything if it didn't follow my rules. So I chose discipline over impulse. Okay, so right now I'm getting my hair done, and honestly, it made me think, if you're somebody that likes to rush and try to get things done, honestly, you're not going to do well in trading. You really have to have a lot of discipline. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going back in. Like, you're going to end up revenge trading and end up blowing your account. Like, the old me would have definitely just kept going in and until I would have won. If you lose and keep going back in trying to make up for what you lost, you end up blowing your entire account. So you have to have patience in all areas of your life, and trading is going to teach you that. My goal this journey is to just be consistent, and I know if I'm consistent that the winnings are going to follow. Even if I take 0 trades, that means that I'm still growing. One day, one disciplined day adds up. So eventually, like, the more that you're disciplined, the more everything else will follow. But I feel like a lot of people talk about their wins, but they don't really talk about or their losses, but they don't really talk about the days that they don't trade, which I think is super important. And I think that's going to allow you to grow, at least for me. Anyway, I'm gonna finish getting my hair done, and then I'll take you guys to the charts and we'll talk about why I didn't take a trade today. Okay, so let's get into the chart. This is the 1 hour time frame that I usually like to mark with a black line my swing highs, swing lows, as well as my liquidity sweeps. I noticed as soon as I got on the charts at 8 a.m. that there was a liquidity sweep here. There was also a liquidity sweep here. So I had marked both of those, as well as the lower low or swing low. I marked that as well. So this line, let's not even pay attention to that, honestly, because I don't want to confuse you guys. So I'm gonna delete this line. So this is literally all I had marked for today. Now, usually on the 15-minute time frame is where I like to see a little bit more in depth. This is where I mark my supply and demand zones. So I only had one strong supply zone. I only marked the strongest supplies and strongest demands. I don't mark every single supply and every single demand. So what I did was I told myself, you know what, I'm only going to take shorts, which would be take sales, if we were to break this area right here. If we were able to break this candlestick and it closes below this black line and it does a retest, I'll be able to get in and I will go for shorts. And then for this area, which would be this liquidity sweep right in this area that I had marked on the 1 hour time frame, if we're able to break above this black line and do a retest, I will be more open to taking longs all the way up to this supply zone. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for me. So what I did was, while I was trading or waiting for a trade today, I went down to the 4 hour and just to kind of confirm exactly what was going on. So let me go down here. So as you can see, price was really consolidating in this area. And personally, I didn't feel confident taking a trade during consolidation because that's against my rules. I don't trade consolidation. I know a lot of people like to trade and only mark up their zones on the 5-minute, but doing that, especially on a Friday, is very wicky, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So now this here, this little small break that's starting to form here, that didn't happen until around 12 o'clock. And remember, on Fridays, I only trade from 8 a.m. to 11:30. If my trade does not show and play out during those times, I do not take a trade. It's different if this were to start happening, let's say around 10:30, and then I see that it closed above it, and then I see a retest. Then I'm more likely to be able to get into the trade around 11 o'clock. And then I'm okay with that. However, if I'm not in the trade by 11:30, I'm not getting in the trade. So it went against my rules today. So that's why I did not take a trade. Let me know if you like videos like this and if you would like for me to do my top-down analysis with you guys. Until next time, deuces!